Welcome to TRADEREP. This is Short Hammer. It is the 16th of July 2019 and we're looking at Amazon. Now Amazon has been on this uptrend ever since early June. Every pullback we seem to see the buyer step in and push us up a little bit higher. Now we have approached all-time highs and pulled back, and as long as we hold this 1997 area, I think we can still squeeze more to the upside. If we pull back below this supply demand zone here, we may see a retest if the sellers step in of this supply demand zone and also this trend line. We may test that. As long as we hold above this 1936, I still believe we can bounce. But if we close below this, then we might see a little bit more selling pressure to the downside. So if we look back, the last time Amazon pushed up over the 2000s or up into this 2030s area, and that was in 2018. And if you see this push, we didn't spend a lot of time up there. This is on the daily chart. We pull back immediately. Tried to find a bounce area here in the 1914s by 1923, right here in the supply demand zone. Push back up, right back down. We dropped down to the 1860s. We bounced, squeezed right back into 2033s, and the buyer said nope, and we just sold off. Now, if we look at this this time, we pushed up, not quite as high, but we pushed up into the 2030s, and the buyer said no. So what we want to watch for is if this these next few days, if we squeeze up into the 2030s, we want to see a close in this area and then another day of buying pressure to push us up a little bit higher. It seems the air is a little bit thin here and we haven't spent a lot of time here, so maybe the prime day catalyst will be the catalyst that we need to squeeze up through this area here, this supply area here. So we definitely need the buyers to step in, and maybe the earnings that's coming later on in July will also help squeeze us up. But on a day when the market was a little bit choppy and a little bit weak, Amazon was pretty strong. Let's look at the intraday chart. So if we're looking at the 5-minute chart, from the open, the market just really pulled back, and Amazon kind of followed that, tried to hold here on the quarterly pivot, but it just dropped. Here's the main intraday pivot here. It just pulled down pretty hard. Now, what we could have watched for was, where does Amazon base? And it bounced here, got back above this pivot, pushed back, test the 200, failed, sold back off. And we just can see this continued weakness, not just in Amazon, but the overall market. And on this next push up, on the break of the VWAP, the 200 in the main intraday pivot, and also a push above, look at this post-market action here, this 2011. This was a good buy point for Amazon, and your stop would have been, if it pushed back below here, you'd be out. If it closed back below here on the 5-minute chart, you would be out. And we had a nice close above the hold, and we started to see a leg here. Then we had a slight pullback to retest, and it didn't go as low, but it retested this push up, this break of this area, held, and we took another leg up. But I would hope on this push that you would, if you entered here, you have an opportunity to take profits here. But if you wanted to hold for more, you could on this pullback hold for more, or re-enter on this confirmation and the hold above, and using the stop still being here. But this is a good movement on Amazon. What we want to see tomorrow, let's see, the main intraday pivot is 2015 and 2014 is the quarterly. It'd be good if we hold above this and continue to squeeze above the upside. If we look at the pre-market levels, it was 2023, and I didn't want us to close above this, but we did not. So let's see what we get today. If we need to get over this 2023 area and have the buyers squeeze us into 2030s, where we we're mentioning that the air has been kind of thin. But we definitely want the buyers to squeeze us up into this area, and preferably some sort of a gap action would be nice. So we'll see what the market gives us, but I'll definitely be watching Amazon around this area. This 2010 needs to hold, and the quarterly needs to hold on the pullback, and this 2015, which will be the main intraday pivot for tomorrow. So watch these levels for a hold and a bounce. Preferably this will be where we bounce here, but we might see a pierce on a pullback. But we do want this to hold, and for us to continue, have the buyer step in and show us continued demand and a continued squeeze, and for the sellers to continue to get out of the way as we push to the upside. That's what we're watching on Amazon. If Amazon fails and goes through this level, then drops through this area here, 2011 by 2015s, then I would not be long. I'll just be watching for another setup and a break above and a hold for us to continue more to the upside. So we have to see how we open and which way we move. If it's continued buying pressure or if the sellers take control on a pullback.